Hello everyone, welcome back to the Royal Chatter. After receiving a grand welcome from President Macron and Madame Macron in Paris and a grand gala dinner at Chateau de Versailles, King Charles and Queen Camilla started their day two of state visit to France with separate agendas. While King Charles was due at the French Senate for an address, which was another historic milestone, with Charles being the first British monarch to do so, Queen Camilla joined Madame Macron for a literacy engagement. At the French Senate, King Charles spoke about the friendship between the UK and France. Charles also paid a lovely tribute to his mother, Queen Elizabeth II. The French Senate gave the British king an almost 2 minutes long standing ovation after his speech. Meanwhile, at the National Library of France, the Queen and Madame Macron marked the launch of the new UK France Literary Prize, the Entente Literary Prize. At a reception attended by the notable literary figures from both countries, Queen Camilla is an avid reader and absolutely adores books. The event celebrated the importance of literature and the literary connections between the UK and France. The Entente Literary Prize will recognize young adult fiction and allow UK and French citizens to share joint literary experiences, reinforcing cultural ties while celebrating the joys of reading. Then the Queen joined the King for the rest of the day, where the couple started with a visit to Saint Denis, the home of the Rugby World Cup village. They were joined by their hostess Madame Macron and many French rugby players. As the visit was happening, France is hosting the Rugby World Cup and Paris prepares to host the Olympics and Paralympics next year. The visit celebrated the important role sports can play in bringing communities close together and enriching the lives of young people. The next stop of the day was Low 19M campus, where King Charles and Queen Camilla learned about the organization's work to promote education, creativity, and inclusion through teaching young people traditional haute couture skills such as embroidery, pinning, and producing tweed. Low 19M campus is situated between Paris and the suburb of Aubervilliers. M stands for the words mode, mains, métier, maisons, and manufacturers. The campus is now home to 11 craft houses with nearly 600 experts working to preserve traditional artisanal skills by teaching young people. The campus is part of the new Metis Fellowship program launched in February 2023 by the Princess Foundation and Chanel. At the campus, Queen Camilla also showed her table tennis skills. Then the royal couple headed to the famous flower market of Paris. The market was formally renamed to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth during her late Majesty's visit in 2014. And the last stop of the day was famous Notre Dame, which has been undergoing restoration work since the devastating fire in April 2019. Outside the cathedral, Their Majesties, accompanied by President and Madame Macron, met firefighters who worked to halt the fire and heard from craftspeople working on the restoration. Next morning, the King and Queen bid their host and hostess, President Macron and Madame Macron, a formal goodbye and headed for the last leg of the state visit, Bordeaux. The couple was supposed to travel to Bordeaux via train, but some media houses released the embargo details before their travel, hence, the couple was recommended by the French security team to use their plane. The King and Queen received a warm welcome outside the town hall before moving inside to learn about the historic twinning of Bordeaux and the UK city of Bristol. Next was the time to celebrate the military ties between both the countries. Their Majesties went on to board HMS Iron Duke, a Royal Navy Type 23 frigate, for a reception to highlight the defense ties between France and the UK. The frigate plays a key role in protecting two nations' interests, from policing vital trade routes to support humanitarian aid missions. The fan of electric cars as part of his efforts to protect the climate and Mother Nature, King Charles took his queen for a ride on an electric tram from the reception to Place de la Bourse, where they attended a festival-style event at the heart of the city's UNESCO World Heritage Site. The festival showcased the best of British, French, and Bordeaux business from sectors including food and drink, technology and innovation, sports and sustainability. A range of musical performances from emerging British and French artists also took place on the square with around 1,000 invited guests present. From here, the couple once again went separate ways to undertake few engagements on their own. The king visited an experimental forest, hearing about the devastating impact of last year's forest fires and how the local community has recovered from the disaster and implemented fire prevention and forest resilience strategies. As well as recording the effect of climate change on the forest project aims to improve fire prevention techniques, promote better land use, and identify innovative techniques and products that can be used beyond forest environment. Meanwhile, the Queen visited Le Pont de l'Amitié, a local body charity which houses a subsidized supermarket, kitchen, and restaurant and provides low cost food and necessities to those in the local community who may be in need. It also acts as a hub for local families to connect and spend time together. Then the couple joined each other at the Chateau Smith Hot Lafite. Their Majesties ended their state visit with a tour of Chateau, learning about sustainable vineyard practices in the Bordeaux wine producing region, as no visit to Bordeaux would be complete without some of the famous local wine. The country that has a very problematic relationship with monarchy and royals unpredictably gave the British King and Queen a very warm welcome, or you can say, keeping the tradition from Queen Elizabeth II's reign. The royals are soft diplomats used by the governments to soften and strengthen the ties between the countries. The state visit to France has been a huge success and shredded any doubts people had about Charles' abilities to be a strong monarch. And that is all for the day. We will be back with more royal coverage. Until then, stay safe and stay tuned.